today I'm gonna talk about the newer version of LiveCircle Interact, which is 16.4 and higher version, and also the stable version we are currently using. All the programmers are currently using. So first we navigate to the source code folder, and we just copy this old version example file and make it to newer. Right. What we want to do, we want to run the new dependencies on this HTML file, so to see what happens to the code. So suppose so first we need to download. So the previous version we were using, as you can see here, it is 16.8.4, right? So now we just want to download a newer version here. So you can download it here, React Docs, and the CDN links. Right here you can download it. Just copy it and paste it into another tape, and then Control save. Then you can save that. Okay. So you can also do that. Same here. Now this one I have already finished downloading, so I just store that here as 17.0.1 version, including the newer version Babel and the prop tabs, right? Now I just import the new dependencies into this file. So right now we have already, as you can see here, now we are using this and this, right? This new dependencies instead of the older. Yeah. Right. So let's just run this file and see what happens. It seems like everything is fine on the page, and we open the console window, and as you can see there are a lot of warnings, not error message, just warning, right? So if you carefully read it, it says warning, componentDidMount has been renamed, it's not recommended for use. See this one for details, right? So rename componentWillMount to unsafe componentWillMount to suppress this warning in non-strict mode. So besides the componentWillMount, there is componentWillUpdate, componentWillReceiveProps, componentWillReceiveProps, componentWillUpdate, right? So now we're back to the code, and following the get, we just rename all those things, right? So unsafe, 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 unsafe. unsafe. Yeah, now we have already reread all those function names following the guide, and right. So now we just reopen this and say what happens here. Yeah, there's no more warning message anymore, right? So if we click this, yeah, it just works fine. So why? Let's back to the top. Okay, so yep. So first, download your version React libraries from React offshore doc cdn links and run new dependencies on older HTML older lifecycle source code file. Right now we get the error message. So we get several messages like this unsafe, right? So now we get unsafe. Unsafe means will be decrepit, including componentWillUpdate and componentWillReceiveProps and componentWillUpdate will receive props and componentWillMount, right? So all we need to know then, those three, the reason why we need to pad unsafe before these three hooks, because they are gonna be decrepit. And so currently we can still use it in this way to append unsafe prefix before the function name. And React official said in the version of 16 React that these three hooks will not be available anymore. So now we just back to this old and the new life cycle diagram. So first we take a look at because we have already talked about this before, the old version life cycle diagram yesterday. So let's just take a look at this. So in newer version life cycle diagram, those three hooks which will be decrepit has already been removed from this diagram. You cannot find componentWillMount, component will receive new props, componentWillUpdate. You cannot find these three hooks, right? Instead, you got two new hooks, including getDerivedStateFromProps and getSnapshotBeforeUpdate. These are two new hooks, right? But right here, I don't want to give you example about these two hooks, because in the real life programming, almost 99% you will never use these two new hooks anymore. But anyway, I mean, so let's just take a look at this. So get derived, and you just simply search rare as you can see here. So static getDerivedStateFromProps. This method exists for a rare use case, and when you click this, you can just view the use case here, where the state depends on change in props over time. Means that it only depends on the props. The state only depends on. So if you set state, it doesn't work. So you may have already feel this is like very rarely used, right? So also when you search get snap, right? So let's take a look at this, and you can see this use case is not common, but it may occur in UL like a chat thread that needs to handle the grow position in a special way. So in a nutshell, these two new hooks only seems like only apply two situations or two use cases. So that's the reason why I don't want to really give you an example here. But it's good to know. Unfortunately, you may never use these two hooks in the real life programming. So let's just back to this. So comment, and let's see, new hooks rarely used, including get state derived state from props and get snapshot before update. Right. So if you want to know how it works, just read the documentation. Right. So at last, I want to re-emphasize that most commonly or most important fix, right, again, it's componentDidMount, right, which you will do some subscription sending HTTP request and start a timer, right? So render is important because it is important, right? Every time you refresh the page, you need to call this. And the last thing is componentWillUnmount, right? In this function, in this method, you're gonna unsubscribe from thing, clear the timer, right? So this eventually these three are most commonly used and very important in lab circle. And if you don't know these two hooks, it doesn't really matter. It won't affect your programming. So yeah, but this is the difference between old and a newer version life cycle. Whatever how many changes have made, the most important hooks have never changed, right? So you just focus on these three important hooks, that will be enough. Okay, so this is pretty much about the life cycle of React today.